You're, of course, probably well aware by now that former Iron Maiden vocalist Paul Di'Anno tragically passed away on Monday at the age of 66. I don't think a cause of death has yet been revealed, but, you know, obviously, unfortunately, he was not in the greatest of health, having to perform in a wheelchair the last few years when he would play live and all that. But just, you know, terrible, terrible news. The news was first broke by Paul's label, Conquest Music. I'm not going to read the statement, but I'll put it up on the screen right now. And then, of course, Iron Maiden as a band, and then Steve Harris personally together released a joint statement, and very nice sentiments, I thought. So that was great to see. But then on Tuesday night, Iron Maiden's currently on tour over here in the U.S. on the Future Past tour, and they were playing in Minneapolis. It was their first show since Di'Anno's death. They were off on Monday, when the day that Di'Anno died. But Bruce gave a very nice speech honoring Di'Anno and his legacy and the impact that those first two Maiden albums that he sang on had. Of course, the self-titled and Killers. Here's what Bruce said during Maiden's recent show in Minneapolis.
Tonight is, I don't want to put a downer on the proceeding at all, because our friend, our band member, Paul Di'Anno, passed away, as you are probably aware. And if you're not aware of that fact, you are now. So, Paul was instrumental in the first two albums, groundbreaking with Killers and the first album, an amazing voice, devoted to rock and roll right up till the last minute of his life. So, would just like to give maybe, for those of you who were born and still remember those early albums, when obviously I wasn't in the band and he was, and those of you who were fans of the stuff he did with Battlezone and his own projects afterwards, and for anybody else that fancies having a listen to the tracks like Remember Tomorrow and stuff like that, which are absolutely awesome, I'm just going to ask everybody to just take like a few seconds to just say, close your eyes in silence and say, just internally, mentally, if you believe in God, if you don't believe in God, it actually doesn't matter. Just believe in what you believe in and just say, thanks, boss, for doing what you did. So, Paul, if you're listening, this is a little message from Minneapolis to wherever you are, upstairs or downstairs, you're having fun. Minneapolis, for Paul Di'Anno, scream for that! I can't fucking hear you and he can't fucking hear you! Scream for that!
Very, very nice to hear Bruce pay such a nice tribute and speak so highly about Paul. You know, obviously the two have sort of traded jabs towards each other in the press over the years, but obviously, you know, recently things have been patched up because I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Di'Anno reconnected with Steve Harris, and obviously, like Steve said in his statement, when Di'Anno died, they had been talking just recently. And then, of course, back in July, just a few months ago, Bruce Dickinson and Paul Di'Anno reconnected. A lot of people said it was their first time ever meeting. Paul Di'Anno later said in interviews that's not true because the two knew each other back when Di'Anno was in Maiden and Bruce was in Samson. So, but either way, you know, nice to see them reconnect. And I mean, when you see somebody after, you know, 30, 35 years, whatever it had been, I mean, it's almost like, you know, meeting somebody for the first time anyways. But, you know, like I said in the last video, all things considered, just very, very good to see the two camps reconnect before Di'Anno tragically passed away. Obviously, outside of Maiden, a ton of people paid tribute to Di'Anno when the news broke, with everybody from Anthrax to Exodus to David Ellefson, you know, formerly of Megadeth, which you could seek all those out if you want to read them. They're all, you know, fairly similar, just kind of anecdotal, talking about Di'Anno's impact with those first two Maiden records and all that. But the one that I do want to point out is that of Blaze Bayley's. Blaze, of course, was in Maiden throughout the 90s. I think he was 94 to 99, something like that. He did two records with them, The X Factor and then Virtual 11. You know, probably not Maiden's most beloved era, but nonetheless, he was a part of the band for a solid 5 years or so. And of course, he released a statement about Di'Anno, acknowledging all of their performances together as solo artists. I think all of those came after Blaze was in Maiden, so the two would do a lot of shows together, and talking about Di'Anno's legacy and all that. Here's what Blaze said. Very sad to hear of the death of my friend Paul Di'Anno. Paul and I did quite a few tours and concerts together over the years. Sweden rock, Ukraine, Australia, Scandinavia. He had a great sense of humor, and those were crazy times. His voice and his music with Iron Maiden and his own projects will live on. Fondly remembered, sadly missed. Rest in peace. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe if you want, and I will see you next time.